Aloha, my name is Shaylin. I live on the Garden Island of Kauai, and I'm here today to provide you with a 30-minute yoga practice. I have been teaching yoga for about 7 years now, originally from Green Bay, Wisconsin. Moved all the way to Hawaii, and I absolutely love it. You can see here's my dog back here. This is Li'i. But while we're home during this quarantine time, I wanted to provide everybody with some light movements just to kind of get that stagnant energy out of the body. So this yoga class today is designed to work your entire body. We're going to stretch, we're going to open, we're going to strengthen, and more importantly, we're going to connect within. And so I just want to take a quick moment for those of you who have never done yoga before in your life to raise your right hand up towards the sky. Raise it up. Stretch, reach. Now take that left arm, take it up to the sky. Now take your left hand and bring it to your right wrist. And start to open up through the right side of the body. Come back up center. Switch, grab onto the left wrist, come over to the right. Come back up center. Take your hands to heart. And now let go of those jitters because you just did yoga for your first time. Congratulations. We're going to move through class with just ease. I want you to feel light. I want you to feel humble. Yoga is one of the most humbling practices that I know. You can fall out of it and you can come right back in, no problem. I just ask you to honor your body, honor your movements. There's no judgment in yoga. This is a personal practice to let go of what isn't serving you, to find the strength and the courage inside of you to be the best person that you want to be. And so with all of that being said, I'll go ahead and start class. We're going to go to our mat. So if you're not on your mat already, please go ahead and go to your mat. Feel free to have a pillow or a block nearby if you choose. But when we get to our mats, we're going to go down into our first pose, which is going to be a child's pose. And so in your child's pose, you can do this two ways. You can take your knees together, and you can bring your bumps to your hips. And start to lower your body down, bringing your forehead to the mat. Or if you do have a sore back, go ahead and just bring your knees to the mat and lower your body back down. So while you're here, just start to find your breath, meaning your inhales and your exhales through your nose. And start to massage out your forehead. A few times to the left and a few times to the right. Start to check in with yourself. Meaning, ask yourself, how are you feeling? Is there spots in your body where you feel stress or tension? And can you send your breath there? And try to break up that stress and tension. And start to press our hands into the mat, bringing our upper body lifted. And we'll bring our knees back in together to touch. And we're going to inhale our arms up and overhead. Bring your palms together and your hands down to heart center. Take your chin in towards your chest. Take a big inhale through the nose. Nice and loud out the mouth. One more time. In and out. Go ahead and release your hands. Let's start to wiggle out our shoulders, rolling them from the right to the left. And then come back to a neutral place. And let's roll out the wrists, roll out the arms. Go ahead and bring those arms up and overhead. And now goal post your arms, bringing your elbows down to shoulder height. Squeezing your shoulders in towards one another. Feel your chest start to open. And now inhale, lift those arms back up. And as you exhale, I want you to interlace your fingertips and start to push them out. So starting to open up the fingers and through the back of the arms. Now go ahead and switch, just meaning bring your front palms out, keeping your fingers interlaced. One more time, switch. Inhale, pressing the palms out. Now go ahead and switch. Tops of the palms go out. And come back in. Arms come up. And go ahead and bring your hands down to the mat. Let's find a tabletop pose. Knees come underneath your hips, wrists come underneath the shoulders. And we're going to move through a couple cat and cows. So on your cow, you're going to drop your belly down, take your gaze up. And on your cat, you're going to arch your spine, tucking your chin in towards your chest. Your shoulders pull apart. So let's cue that with your breath. We inhale, come into a cow. And exhale, come up into a cat. 2 more times. Inhale to cow. And exhale to cat. 1 more time. Inhale, cow. And exhale, cat. Come back to a neutral space. And find a really strong tabletop pose. So almost like you could take a tray filled with glasses of water on your spine, and not a single drop would fall onto that tray. You are so strong. And now let's take the right toes out. So don't compromise that back. You have that tray of waters on your back. So let's go ahead and lift the right leg out. Beautiful. Now let's take it over to the right, placing the inside of the foot down. And now we're going to drop all those waters by inhaling the right arm up. And start to reach in the opposite direction as your foot, finding an opening from the toes all the way up through the fingers. Take 1 more breath in. And exhale, release the hand down. Inhale, lift the toes up. Start to bring them back. And exhale, set them down. Inhale, left side out. Beautiful. Control the core. Now exhale, left foot out to the side. Left side of the foot comes down. And inhale your left arm up and to the opposite side of the room. Big stretch from the toes to the fingers. Take 1 more breath in. Exhale, release, bring the hand down. Go ahead and inhale, lift the leg up. Start to bring it towards the back. And exhale, bring it down. We're going to go through just a couple barrel rolls with the core and the chest. So what that means, we're going to take our hips and our ribs over to the right. Now lift them up and bring them over to the left. Bring them down through the center, to the right, up, and to the left. Go through that 2 more times. In and out. 1 more time. In and out. Let's go ahead and switch directions. Take it over to the left. Bring it up and bring it back. 1 more time. Bring it to the left. Bring it up and bring it down. Come back to a neutral place. Let's go ahead and curl our toes under. We're going to come into our first downward dog of class. So the toes are curled under. I want you to take a moment and look at all 10 fingers. So we're going to spread all 10 fingers down to the mat. And it's almost like your palms become suction cups. Then if you look at your elbows start to rotate in towards one another. And you can already feel the strength pressing up through the forearms. Your biceps and triceps are engaged. And now we're going to lift the hips up towards the ceiling. Yes, and then the weight starts to press down through the heels. So you can see we're in this big triangle pose. All 4 limbs are down to the mat. And we're lengthening through the arms, through the back, through the core, all the way down from the hips to the heels. And let's start to pedal it out a little bit, just meaning dropping 1 heel, bending 1 knee. Sending your chest back a little bit further towards the thighs with every stretch. Just casually breathing here. As we move through class, we're going to get into a breath that's called an Ujjayi breath. And that Ujjayi breath is an even inhale and even exhale through the nose. That breath becomes audible, it becomes loud, it's kind of all-consuming.
Let's start to walk our hands back towards our feet. Coming into a really deep forward fold. Bend your knees as much as you need to get your belly onto your thighs. And then if you want, maybe you grab onto your ankles and you pull yourself in. You can take your peace fingers, wrap them around your big toes, start to pull yourself in. Just find a couple breaths in and out. Releasing the tension from the lower back. Being able to shake the head, yes and no. And wherever you are, release the grasp. Maybe take a little of the bend out of the knees. Let's grab onto opposite elbows, finding a ragdoll pose. Dropping the head in between the biceps and triceps. And just finding a little sway from side to side. Go ahead and release the hands. And we're going to come up nice and slow. Kind of like zombies, nice and slow. Head and eyes will be the last thing to come on up. When you get there, start to roll your shoulders down your back. Chest is open. Head and eyes come up. And on your next breath in, take your arms up and overhead. And as you exhale, bring your hands down to heart center. In yoga, we like to set some sort of intention for ourselves. Maybe it's a feeling of gratitude for your friends, your family, yourself. Maybe it's something that you want to work on. Letting go, something that makes you angry. Maybe bringing in something that makes you happy. Just being able to take some time to check in with yourself and what do you need. Take a big breath in. Let that intention resonate within. Exhale, let it out. Circle your arms up. Inhale. And exhale, we're going to swan dive forward by bringing both arms out, leading with the heart. Exhale, fingertips come down. We're find a halfway lift. So let's bring our fingertips to our shins. Shoulders pull out of the ears. Spine is nice and strong. One more breath in. Exhale, forward fold. And now let's start to walk our hands out to the front of our mat, coming into a plank pose. So your shoulders are over your wrists. Your shoulders are nice and strong, pressed into the back. Our core is strong. We're lengthening through the legs. And now let's go ahead and just lower the knees. Bring the tops of your feet down to the mat. And now we're going to come down into a modified chaturanga. So a chaturanga is by pulling, it's kind of like a push-up, except your elbows start to come into your sides instead of press out. So your elbows are right next to your ribs. Let's go ahead and lower all the way down. And then we'll come into a modified cobra pose. And so a cobra pose, you start to lift the chest off the mat nice and easy, being mindful of your lower back. Your shoulders press away from the ears and they squeeze in towards one another. The elbows are squeezing in towards one another. We're breathing into the softness of our belly. Our thighs are tight. They're pressed into the ground. Take one more breath in. Exhale, start to release. Now press into the hands and the knees. Lift your chest and your hips up. And come back into your child's pose. Take a big breath in and out. Come back, tabletop. Curl the toes under, lift the hips up high. Come into a downward dog. We inhale, look to the front of the mat. Exhale, step or jump to the front. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold. We're about to go through a sun salutation A. We inhale, come up to standing. Arms come up, mountain pose. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Inhale, arms circle up. Exhale, forward fold. Go ahead and release. So this can be called a moving meditation. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, hands plant. Jump or step back. High to low plank. So you can either bring the knees back down just like we did, or a full chaturanga, high to low, Elbows pull into the sides. We lower ourselves down halfway. A full upward dog is pressing the hands into the mat and lifting the chest all the way up. So your thighs can be off the mat or they can be down. Tops of the feet are onto the mat. Chest is open. It's starting to rain here. I hope you guys can hear it. You also might hear an occasional rooster, which is fun. Now curl the toes under, pull the core in, and shift upward dog. You move your butt away from the camera. Let's go ahead and inhale our right toes up high. We're going to bend the knee, open up the hip, rotate out the ankle. A few times clockwise, a few times counterclockwise. And then step it all the way to the front of your mat. We're going to drop our left knee down. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, let's bring our hands down to heart center. Woo, it's really raining. Inhale, come forward. Now bring your left elbow to your right knee, start to twist. Listen to that rain. Kind of cleansing. Take one more breath in. Now exhale. Release the hands down. Curl the toes under. Lift your left knee up. We're going to come up into a crescent lunge by bringing our arms up. So your ribs, your hips, your shoulders, they're all in this beautiful alignment. Take one more breath in this crescent lunge. And now exhale, open up, warrior two. In your warrior two, it's almost like your feet want to rip the mat apart. Your knee starts to shift over towards your pinky toe. Your chest is open, your thighs are engaged. Let's go ahead and flip that right palm and come back into reverse warrior two. So your front knee is going to stay bent. Your left hand can come to your thigh, or you can always come behind your back and find a little bind. Let's go ahead and take our right elbow over to our right knee. So an extended side angle. You can lift your left arm all the way up towards the sky. You can also take your right hand and drop it down to the mat. Sometimes this pose is great for a block. You could set a block right next to your ankle. But we're here to sink into our hips, to strengthen our ankles, our thighs. Go ahead and inhale all the way back reverse. Keep that lunge in your front knee. And now exhale, cartwheel the arms down. Step your right leg back. High to low plank, chaturanga. Inhale up dog. And exhale back down dog. Inhale your left toes up high. Bend your knee, open up your hips. Start to rotate out your ankle. And then start to slowly step your left foot to the front of the mat. Drop your right knee down. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, hands come down to heart center. Pull the core in, start to hinge forward. And now drop your right elbow to your left knee and start to twist. So your elbow is pressing down into your knee. Your top palm is pressing down into the bottom palm. And you're twisting from that lower belly all the way out through the top of the head. We're cleansing our back body. We're creating strength in the shoulders. Take one more breath in. And exhale, release the hands down. Curl the right toes under, lift the knee up. Inhale your arms up, crescent lunge. So hips, ribs, shoulders in alignment. Your left knee is kind of overlooking your second and your third toe, knee over ankle. Using that right heel to send energy all the way up through that front lunge. Take one more breath in. We're going to open up into our warrior two. So again, remember in that warrior two, knee starts to shift towards the pinky toe. Feet are ripping the mat apart, but your thighs want to turn in towards one another. It's a feeling to create more strength, to get deeper into the pose. Now let's flip that top palm over and find a reverse warrior. Keeping the lunge into the front knee, finding an opening through the front of the body. And then let's take that left elbow over to the left knee, coming into our extended side angle. Remembering you have a couple options here. If you're very open through the hips, you can bring your left hand all the way down to the ground. Maybe you go for a bind. On your next breath in, go ahead and come back. Reverse your warrior. Inhale. Exhale, cartwheel the arms down. Step the left foot back to meet the right. Take a breath in. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. And exhale, back, downward dog. Take an inhale, look to the front of your mat. And as you exhale, step or jump. Find a halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, all the way up. Come up to a standing. Exhale, sink the hips back. Come into your chair. So in your chair, your big toes can be touching. Heels are separated. Your shoulders are out of the ears. Your fingers are engaged. Your pinkies want to rotate in towards one another. Biceps and triceps are rotating in towards one another. Shoulders away from the ears. Our thighs are strong. A chair. Let's sink down deeper. Take one more breath in. Now exhale, both arms come back. Airplane. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, arms come back. One more time. In and out. Come all the way up to standing. Exhale, hands come down to heart center. Close your eyes and come back to your intention that you set for yourself. We're going to come into a tree pose, starting to ground down through the left leg, either kickstanding the right heel onto the left ankle, gently bringing it onto your shin, or maybe reaching down with the right hand, grabbing the ankle and pulling it all the way up. And so there's an equal balance between the thigh and the foot. As much as your foot is pressing into the leg, your leg is pressing back. That leg, think of it as a stump, and your tree is a branch. And now let's start to grow our arms. There are also branches. And maybe you kind of take a moment and think about what tree you want to be. What do you want to bring to this world? Flowers, fruit, oxygen. Take one more breath in here. And as you exhale, bring your hands down to heart center. Now bring your knee out in front of you. Take a breath in. Now exhale, airplane, arms and legs go back. Inhale, come forward. And exhale, bring it back. Last time, inhale. Exhale, bring your hands to your knee. Give your knee a nice little hug. Rotate out the ankle. And set your foot down. Left side, plant down through that right leg. Find your tree, find your stump. Begin to grow your roots. And maybe you kickstand that left heel. You bring it to your shin nice and easy. Or you grab onto the foot and pull it to the upper right thigh. Hands come to heart center. Or maybe you grow your tree on up. If you're having troubles balancing, know that that's okay. You can always grab onto a wall or something sturdy. Balance is something that changes every single day, every moment. It's normal. Take one more breath in. Now exhale, release the leg out in front of you. Take a breath in, inhale. Exhale, send the arms and legs back. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, come back. One more time, in and out. In. Hands come down to the left knee. Pull it in, give it a nice little hug, maybe rotate out the ankle. And go ahead and set it down. Inhale your arms up and overhead. And exhale, forward fold. Find a halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, hands plant. Step back and come right into your downward dog. Big breath in through the nose. Let it out through the mouth. Right toes come up. Right foot steps forward. Back heel turns down. Inhale up, warrior one. Warrior one is where your hips are still shifted to the front of the mat. Your knee's kind of like in a crescent lunge going towards your second and third toe over the ankle. And you're using energy from the back knife edge of your left foot to shift you forward. Take one more breath in here. Now exhale, straighten your front leg and open up. Arms come out into a T. As you shift your hips towards the back of the mat, start to reach towards the front of the mat. When you can't reach anymore, come into your Trikonasana. Shoulder over shoulder, hip over hip. Breathing here. Take one more inhale. And exhale, release. Come into a wide-legged forward fold. Walk your hands to the center of your mat. Find a halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Start to walk your hands towards the back of your mat, towards the left foot. Keeping your right foot planted, angle your right toes in about 45 degrees. Shift your left toes to the front, shift your left toes now to what will be the front of your mat, which was once the back of your mat. Bend your left knee, and inhale, rise on up. Woo. Warrior one. Breathing here, releasing the tension in the toes. Take one more inhale, release the shoulders. And now straighten the front leg. Tee up your arms, shift your hips towards the right foot, fingertips towards the left. When you can't reach anymore, go ahead and find your Trikonasana. Hip over hip, shoulder over shoulder. Beautiful. Take one more breath in. Exhale, release the hand down. Walk it all the way around to the right foot. So we're back at the front of our mat. Now step that right foot back. Inhale your left leg up. Nice big stretch. Set it back down. Bring your knees down to the mat. Slowly start to come down into a seat. And we're going to lower ourselves down in just a little bit, but we're going to rock and roll up and down our spine, and then we'll end up on our back. So I want you first to grab on behind your thighs. Open up the chest so the shoulders are pulling in towards one another. Pull your thighs in towards one another and start to lift the feet off the mat. So you're now in a boat pose in Avasana. Starting to engage that lower belly. Breathing. Maybe we're here. We're going to release the arms out. Maybe you straighten the legs. We're going to be here for 3 breaths all together. In and out. One more time. In and out. Bring your hands behind your thighs. Now here we go. Rocking and rolling up our spine. Go ahead and rock up and down. One more time. Rock and roll up and down. And then slowly lower all the way to your back, pulling your knees into your chest. Giving yourself a nice little hug, kind of circling out on your back, just rolling a bit to the right and rolling a bit to the left. Circling out your knees. And then let's go ahead and drop our feet down. So I want you to bring your feet about hip width apart. And walk your heels in as close as you can to your sits bones. And now start to wiggle your shoulders underneath you. So your arms are at your sides. I want you to press down through the arms, press down through the feet. And on your next breath in, lift the hips up. So we're going to come into a bridge pose. In your bridge pose, your chest is open, your front side of your body is open. We're strengthening our glutes, our thighs. Maybe you interlace the fingertips underneath you. And they become more of a platform for you to lift up even higher. Breathe. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and lower down one vertebrae at a time. Ribs come down before the hips. Bring your knees over to the right. Come back up center. And bring your knees over to the left. Come back up center. We're going to go through this one more time, holding it for 5 seconds. Set yourself up, shoulders under your back, feet evenly pressed down. On your next inhale, lift up, bridge pose. For 5, squeeze those glutes, lift up for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and start to release. Bringing the bottoms of your feet together. Your knees are going to splay out wide. And let's bring one hand to our heart and one hand to our belly. I want you to feel that connection between your breath and your body. As we take a big inhale, feel your chest and your belly start to expand. As you exhale, feel that stagnant energy starting to leave the body. Maybe you feel a little bit happier. Take a breath in and out. We're going to bring our hands to the outsides of the legs and start to close them up. Bring your knees into your chest. I want you to reach on through, coming into happy baby. So you grab onto the insides or outsides of the feet and you kick those feet up. And you can find a little rock and roll from side to side. Maybe you straighten one leg and then the other. Taking just a few moments here. Let's fill our body. One more big inhale. As you exhale, we're going to start to release the feet. And take both of your knees over to the right. Take your arms out into a T and start to look over to the left. Coming into this supine twist. Let's go ahead and come back to the center. Now drop both of your knees over to the left. And bring your gaze over to the right. Come back center. We're going to wrap our arms around our shins, preparing ourselves for our final pose. Bring your forehead to your knees, your chin to your chest. Become the tiniest little ball that you can be. And now take the biggest inhale you've taken today. Squeeze it a little bit tighter. And when you can't hold it anymore, I want you to release everything you got to the floor. Arms come out, legs come out. And we're going to lay here doing absolutely nothing, just soaking up the benefits of this practice. All of the movements, all the connections we just made. Take a few moments just to suck it up. Start to wiggle the fingers. Just bringing some light movements back into the body. Wiggle the toes. Once you come into a big stretch, arms are going to come up and overhead. Reaching in two opposite directions, lengthening the body. Go ahead and just roll onto either side, coming into a fetal position, bringing your head onto one of your biceps or triceps and just taking a moment of rest, releasing any last tension. Whenever you're ready, make your way to a seat, coming into a seated pose on your mat. We're going to bring our palms faced up onto our knees, coming in just to a nice cross-legged position. We'll take a few breaths to end class together. Let's go ahead and inhale our arms up and overhead. Palms come to touch. As we exhale, start to drop our hands down to heart center. One more time. Inhale, arms come up. And exhale, hands come down. The light and the love that is within me
honors the light and the love that is within you. To the teacher in all things, bowing forward. Namaste. Thank you guys so much for practicing with me today. Please let me know if you have any questions via comments. I wish you all well during this time. Keep moving your bodies. Aloha, everybody.